Hi everyone, this is Maverick Pua, the chemistry guru. Now in this video, we want to discuss the Chatellier's principle and the position of equilibrium for a system at dynamic equilibrium. Now in the topic of chemical equilibria, we understand that when a system is at dynamic equilibrium, the rate of the forward and the rate of the reverse reaction is the same. So therefore, the concentrations of the reactants and the products will stay constant, and the system is well and alive. It is just that because the rate of the forward and the reverse reaction it is the same, the concentration of the reactants and products stays the same, so it looks like nothing is happening to the system. So we can treat the system as a sleeping system. So when we try to disturb the system, actually it can respond based on what are the changes that we are imposing. So we can treat this system as a person who is sleeping. If we try to disturb the person, if you try to poke the person, it depends on whether the person feels that it is being disturbed or not. If it feels that it is being disturbed, then what it can do is can respond by either shifting the position of the equilibrium in the forward direction or in the reverse direction. And because of that, there will be changes to the concentration of the reactants and the products, and sometimes the equilibrium constant will also be affected. So what we want to talk about in this video is to talk about 4 major changes that we can impose on the system, and we also want to talk about Le Chatelier's principle, which is the principle that we will use to predict what will happen to the system when it feels that it is being disturbed. Now Le Chatelier's principle is pretty straightforward. If a system that is at dynamic equilibrium is subjected to a change and it disturbs the system, what the system would do is it will respond in such a way to reduce, oppose, or counter this change imposed partially. So based on the changes that we are imposing to this system, the system have to decide whether it feels being disturbed or not, then it will respond accordingly. We can treat the system like a stubborn fellow. That means a person who is very stubborn. Whatever you do to the system, he doesn't like this change imposed. You always try to counter, or you always try to oppose whatever you're doing to the system. So if you try to add reactant, it doesn't like it, you try to remove it. If you increase pressure, it doesn't like it, you try to lower the pressure. If you increase the temperature, it doesn't like it, you will also try to lower the temperature. So therefore the system, because it is stubborn, it is fairly predictable. We can systematically decide what the system will do based on what are the changes we are imposing on this system. Alright, let's look at the example that we will be using, which is the Haber process involving the conversion of elements, nitrogen and hydrogen, to give ammonia. And this overall reaction is a reversible process. Enthalpy change of this reaction is exothermic, less than 0. Now as mentioned, we will have 4 changes that we want to talk about. The first change will be adding reactant. Now what if I want to add N2, which is the reactant? So basically what will happen is the concentration of N2, it increases. Now does the system like this increase in the concentration of N2? The system doesn't like this increase. The system will want to remove this N2. So what it will do is it will favor the for reaction. So therefore the position of the equilibrium will shift towards the right hand side to try to remove this N2 and convert it to form products. So we know that the position of equilibrium, or POE for short, will shift towards the right hand side. Or sometimes we can say that it favors the for reaction to try to remove the reactant N2. So overall, the concentration of the reactant yield will drop, and because it forms more product, the concentration of the product would increase, and the effect in the Kc expression, K is only affected by changes in temperature, so K would stay constant. K is not affected by changes in the concentration of reactants or products. Now let's look at the second change imposed. What happens if I increase pressure? Now if I increase pressure, does the system like this increase in pressure? Same thing, it doesn't like this increase in pressure. What you try to do is you lower the pressure. Now when we talk about changes in pressure, we are assuming that there's an increase in the total pressure. There's also an increase in the partial pressure for all the gases. So we're increasing the partial pressure for N2, for H2, as well as the partial pressure for NH3. So the partial pressure for all the gases in the system increases. The system doesn't like this increase in pressure. You want to lower the pressure. Now in order for it to lower the pressure, what we have to do is we have to compare the number of moles on both sides of the equation. If I compare moles on both sides of the equation, left hand side, you have 4 moles of gas. Right hand side, you have 2 moles of gas. Now you notice what the system will try to do is if it wants to lower the pressure, it will favor the reaction that forms less moles of gas. Because if the position of the equilibrium were to favor the for reaction, if the POE shifts towards the right hand side, then you're using up 4 moles of gas, you form 2 moles of gas, that is a net decrease in the number of moles of gas. So when there are less gas particles inside this system, the overall pressure would decrease. So if the system wants to lower the pressure, if it wants to counter this change, it favors the formation of less moles of gas so that the overall pressure will decrease. So in this case, the position of the equilibrium will shift towards the right hand side, form less reactants, form more products. So concentration of reactant will drop, concentration of the product would go up. Again, K is not affected by changes in pressure. There's no change in the Kc expression. Now change number 3, what happens if I increase temperature? Now, if I increase temperature, again, the system doesn't like this increase in temperature. What you want to do is you want to lower the temperature. When there's a change in temperature, what we focus on would be the enthalpy change of the process. Because if, for example, in this case, the for reaction is exothermic, delta H is a negative term, the reverse reaction is endothermic. So, as mentioned, when you increase the temperature, the system doesn't like this increase in temperature. What you try to do is you try to lower the temperature. Now, it can lower the temperature by favoring the endothermic process, because endothermic process will absorb excess heat from the surrounding. The temperature of the surrounding will decrease. So, if I want the temperature to drop, what I'll do is I'll favor the endothermic process. The for reaction is exothermic. The reverse reaction is endothermic. So in this case, the position of the equilibrium will shift towards the left-hand side, favors the endothermic process, which will absorb excess heat from the surrounding. It causes the temperature of the surrounding to drop. So as mentioned, the POE will shift towards the left. I form more reactants. Concentration of the reactant would go up. I form less products. Concentration of the product would drop. Now when there's a change in temperature, Kc will be affected. So what we can do is we can use a very simple expression involving K. K is a ratio of product to reactant. So we don't want to be too bothered about the coefficient term, because if I want to express Kc properly, I will write it in terms of concentration of ammonia square divided by concentration of N2 and concentration of H2 power 3. But when we talk about the meaning of K, all these coefficient terms and all these power terms becomes distracting. It makes it very mathematical. What we want to do is we want to focus on the concept. K is just a ratio of product to reactant. So in this case, when the concentration of the product decreases, you have a smaller numerator. Concentration of product increase, you have a bigger denominator. So of course, based on this expression, the K is expected to drop. Now we have one more change to talk about, which is adding catalyst. Now what if I add the catalyst? Catalyst will speed up the rate of the reaction, but what happens is it will increase the rate of the forward and the reverse reaction to the same extent. So because the rate of the forward reaction is increased, and it is increased to the exact same extent as the rate of the reverse reaction, what happens is I'll reach equilibrium sooner. That means I'll attain equilibrium more quickly, but the position of the equilibrium is not affected. So in this case, the position of the equilibrium is not affected, and because there's no shift in POE, then the rest of these terms will also not be affected. There will be no change in the concentration of reactant, no change in the concentration of the product. Obviously, I wouldn't expect any change in the Kc expression. Alright, so that was the discussion involving Le Chatelier's principle and the position of equilibrium for a system at dynamic equilibrium. If you learned something useful from this video, please give me the thumbs up, like this video, and subscribe to my YouTube channel for more weekly video lessons. That's all for now. Thanks for watching.